I got to mention something about Andrew Cuomo and the scandals, the two scandals he is now involved in. His sexual predation, sexual harassment, and I'll get to that in a second. And also his hiding the numbers of people who are dying in the state of New York's nursing homes and care homes to ostensibly to make the numbers in his state look better, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the benefit was. But anyway, Max Boot, the guy I love to hate during normal times, but who during the past 4 years I've been listening to and reading because he has been so anti-fascist. And anyone who is anti-fascist, I certainly appreciate. I think Max Boot is now. I know he's a Jew. He's a big supporter. He's a big supporter of Israel. He is a self-described Zionist. Okay. But you know what's the saying? A stopped clock is correct twice a day. Max Boot happens to be a Serbic writer. And when he writes something with which I agree, I really agree. Oh, everything is upside down. Everything has just gone batshit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it has. But as Max writes in the Post today, these scandals that are engulfing Cuomo have brought the Republicans to this gleeful state because Republicans hate Cuomo, let's face it. And these scandals have also brought what Max Boot calls self-flagellation among journalists and progressives who once lionized Cuomo as the hero of the COVID-19 fight. Now, if Andrew Cuomo did actually do what he's now accused of, which includes hiding nursing home deaths and creating the typical hostile, toxic workplace environment and sexually harassing subordinates, then okay, I guess he deserves what he's getting right now. I don't guess. I mean, yeah, okay, he deserves what he's getting. But as Boot points out, it's not like Democrats and the media are giving him a pass. They're not. New York Times has been in the forefront, the spear point in uncovering all the sexual harassment scandal. And now the Democratic leader of the New York State Senate just called on him to resign yesterday, I think. And the Democratic State Assembly Speaker, not far behind, I think that person called on him to resign too. So as it stands right now, Cuomo has almost no defenders among prominent Democrats anywhere, but especially not in New York State. So by contrast, as Max Boot points out, how often do you see the Christian right in this country, the neo-fascist right wing, the Christian fascists, a.k.a. the Republican Party, how often do you see them uncovering misconduct among Republicans or demanding accountability? Don't laugh. Yeah? Never? Political scientists talk about so-called asymmetrical polarization. And what it means, that's what we're dealing with right now, as a matter of fact. It's when Republicans go way to the right of the political spectrum, right out there where the Nazis live, and the Democrats go left, not out to where the communists live, but just left. And the result is this asymmetrical accountability. The mainstream media and Democrats are usually tough on Democrats accused of wrongdoing. My former colleague at Air America, Al Franken, is a classic example of that, of what happens when Al Franken was, as far as I'm concerned, did absolutely nothing that warranted even reportage, much less his resigning from the Senate. It's fucking insane to me when Franken left. And Franken was not my favorite person when we worked together at Air America. No, not at all. I've cited before, he didn't like my position on Israel and their treatment of the Palestinians, and consequently, he forbade the company, Air America, from ever running a promo from my program in his program. Cross-promotion. You keep Malloy's show out of mine. Okay, fair enough. Well, I didn't think it was fair at the time, but, tough shit, right? So anyway, I saw his resigning from the Senate after our Air America gig together as a terrible thing, a waste of a good Democratic senator. But that's an example, the pressure that was applied to Franken. And other than our fundamental disagreement on how the Israelis treat the Palestinians, he and I pretty much agreed at the time, and probably still do, on most political issues that we Americans have to deal with. But right-wing media and right-wing politicians act as apologists or explainers for far worse scum-sucking right-wing Christian fascists than an Al Franken or what was his name, who ran for president, the Democrat. Oh, Christ, there have been so many of them, had the girlfriends and so on and so forth. But right-wing media and politicians act as these apologists for scum like Trump. I mean, I don't think you ever would hear, under any circumstances, Al Franken or any Democratic politician, Cuomo, pick one, John Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy. I mean, help yourself. Say something like, well, yeah, with women, you got to grab them by the pussy. They love it, especially if you're famous. Oh, but wait a second. All the Christian fascists lined up like a bunch of goddamn ducks in a shooting gallery and said, oh, that's just locker room talk. And even Trump's old lady said, well, I have two sons. I have Barron and I have Donald. I have two little boys. Oh, well, that was really nice there, Melania. More than 24 women have accused the orange bastard of sexual misconduct, including rape. I think that's way more serious than what Andrew Cuomo has been accused of. Kissing somebody on the cheek, putting his hands on their back. I know, shouldn't do any of it. Remember the scandal when George W. Bush walked up behind Angela Merkel at one of the international meetings and started rubbing her shoulders and bent down like he was going to suck her earlobe or something? First of all, it was way out of line just from a diplomatic level, from a diplomacy level. You don't walk up to the Chancellor of Germany, who happens to be female. Hey, baby, how you doing? Let me rub your shoulders. Hey, I'm from Texas. God damn. But the accusations against Trump make what Cuomo is being accused of look like almost insignificant. I mean, I'm sorry, my female listeners, please don't jump on my shit now. I realize 5 women have come forward on Cuomo. Well, he said something to me. Well, he did this. Well, he certainly didn't whip out his privates like some of these right-wingers have done. Anyway, so 24 women have accused Trump of sexual misconduct. including rape, including everything this orange bastard did, said, up to and including the time he was president. But those charges against Trump haven't denied his popularity with the Christian fascists. This is the part I cannot get my mind around. All these self-righteous son of a bitches, including and especially Mike Pence. This, I don't know, self-abusing. Pence reminds me of what I've read about in religious history about the monks who used to flagellate themselves, beat themselves with cats and nine tails, with leather straps with coals embedded in them, not hot coals, but just very scarring, flesh-ripping coals tied, and beat each other and themselves. That's what Mike Pence reminds me of. I mean, like I've said a million times, he spent 4 years standing behind Trump with a look of absolute adoration on his face, no matter what the orange bastard did. So Pence hasn't had his feelings about Donald Trump diminished. What did he say the other day? Hasn't Pence made the pilgrimage to the Christian fascist Mecca here in the United States, Mar-a-Lago? Hasn't Pence said he would, like the cowardly turtle, Mitch McConnell? Oh yeah, I'll vote for. I can hardly say the words. I'll vote for President Trump again if he is on the top of the ticket. Now, nothing seems to have cut into Trump's popularity with the Christian fascists, including all the other shit that he did, from pathological lying on a daily, hourly, minute-by-minute basis, all the way up to inciting a violent insurrection that caused the deaths of 7 people. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.